So getting onto the escrow process. So you've got a buyer, you've negotiated a deal, you're opening up escrow. A lot of a lot of sellers feel like they've crossed the finish line. Time to break out the champagne and start drinking. It's not the case. When you open escrow, I always tell my clients that's a great first step. It's something to be excited about. But when we're going to break out the champagne is when that buyer removes all of their contingencies. So let's talk briefly about what happens in a transaction. You've got an escrow, right? Buyer says, I want to buy this home. You've negotiated price and terms. Now they're going to do their tire kicking. They're going to go through and make sure that they still want to buy it, based on not just the first impression, but what's under the sheets, right? So first off, they're going to do their home inspection. Again, they're going to go through with a fine-tooth comb and find every little thing wrong with the property, right? Home inspector is not going to tell them how pretty it is or what a great view it has. They're going to tell you everything that's wrong with it. Next thing you're going to do is the bank is going to order an appraisal. So what I like to say is that you got to sell a home twice. First, you got to sell it to the buyer. Then you got to sell it to the buyer's lender. So the appraisal is a piece that you've got to consider. Then there's the disclosures. Anything you know about the home. Has there been mold? Has there been water intrusion? Have you had to repipe? Have there been any slab leaks? Has the home been used as a meth lab? Any of those answers, if they're a yes, you've got to explain it to the buyer. Failure to do that can lead to a lawsuit 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now if something is not disclosed. I do not believe there's any statute of limitations on fraud. In other words, if you don't disclose something you should have disclosed, it can bite you a long time later. And then an HOA doc review. So if you live in a homeowners association, you got to share with that buyer everything that's going on in the association. They're going to review the board minutes. They're going to see everything that's happening in there, good, bad, or ugly. Then you're going to negotiate. So believe it or not, the negotiations aren't done when you accept a contract. In fact, you're going back to the drawing board to negotiate things like repairs. If there's any issues with the appraisal, there might be additional questions about the disclosures. Once you get through all that, the buyer is eventually going to get their full loan approval. And once they've kicked the tires, they've done their homework, and they say, yes, we still want to move forward and buy this home, then they are going to remove all of their contingencies. Once they do that, that's when they're locking in their deposit, and they can't walk away and just take their money back. At that point, if they cancel after doing all their due diligence and saying, yes, I'm in, and then they cancel, that's typically when you see a buyer walking away from their deposit. So we talked a little bit about the inspection, the appraisal process, the disclosures, the HOA doc review, the negotiations, the full loan approval, and of course that contingency removal. And when you get that contingency removal is when you celebrate.